and welcome to my channel. Go ahead, hit the like, hit the share. This video, let's just talk about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, however you say her name. Because I notice everybody's celebrating right now that she's been nominated. Kudos to her. Psych. I'm looking like, what the fuck? But I saw this coming pretty much. And so should you have.
Suspects in California are accused of running a fake police department and put under arrest. One of the suspects even works for California Attorney General Kamala Harris. I'm 48 Hours Crime-Siders Michelle Sagona. The ruse began in January when the San Diego Sheriff's Office says various police chiefs in Southern California began to receive letters from the Masonic Fraternal Police Department. The letter said specifically that David Henry was now the chief and he was requesting a meeting with each agency. According to a press release, Captain Roosevelt Johnson of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Office actually accepted a meeting with Henry, Tonette Hayes, and Brandon Keel. They showed up dressed in uniforms and said they were setting up shop in the area. All three were arrested and now charged with impersonating a peace officer. The group claims to have jurisdiction in 33 states and in Mexico. They allegedly believe they're descendants of the Knights Templar and that their group was founded 3,000 years ago. But medieval scholars say their claims are incorrect and that the Knights Templar was founded during the 12th century Crusades in Jerusalem. Their mission was to protect pilgrims visiting the Holy City, and they answer to the Pope. Some historians speculate that they were tasked with finding precious religious relics.
Now, looking back, I asked if anyone had heard about Robert Kelly's alleged affiliations with the Knights Templar, because I began to see these articles trying to affiliate him with the Vice Lords. And then we hear about this attack from this Latin king while he's incarcerated, so that should have started to create some thoughts in some of these people just following these individuals blindly. I say that because obviously once the feds came in and they started to create this whole RICO enterprise, it should be obvious the affiliations they're planting.
A report called Operation Tiberius that's been leaked to the press. It found that a secret network of Freemasons inside the police have been used by organised crime gangs to corrupt the criminal justice system.
132 in Bush, I got him at gunpoint. Okay, gunpoint 132 in Bush, covers code 3.
Now, anybody doing a little bit of research would have uncovered the levels of corruption within Chicago. So if any one of these accusers had come out and said they had attempted to make their reports as they are supposed to and were rejected, then I could be more sympathetic to some of these stories. But the fact is, they bypassed the law, went to the media, and then tried to manipulate the public to get these charges against this man and overlooked all the corruption that went into play publicly right before our eyes. I also pointed out how a lot of these people from these fraternal orders are working hard to keep
Were
these
LAPD officers
out
involved
there.
in the murder of rap superstar Christopher Wallace, also known as Notorious B.I.G.? And if so, did the LAPD try to cover it up?
Wilshire in Fairfax when he was riding in the passenger seat of a Chevy Suburban in this lane. Witnesses say a black Chevy Impala pulled up right next to him, and a lone gunman in the driver's seat rolled down the window, opened fire, and then calmly drove away.
8 years later, in 2005, a civil trial brought by the Wallace family against the city exposed evidence the LAPD failed to produce that suggests two rogue police officers, David Mack and Rafael Perez, while not fitting the description of the gunman, may have been involved in the murder of the rapper also known as Biggie Smalls. This potentially explosive evidence involves an alleged conversation between former LAPD officer Rafael Perez and Perez's cellmate in the LA County Jail.
The 500-page police surveillance book was rumored as having been used as a law enforcement information sharing tool that was passed around various police departments, including Pittsburgh, Miami, Denver, and Los Angeles. The book contains a number of different kinds of profile pages. The two most common are the hider profile page and the record label profile page. The hider profile pages usually contain a mugshot, personal information such as a social security number, addresses, along with FBI case numbers, NYSID numbers, and a listing of criminal charges filed. Hider investigates drug trafficking. Few of those profiled in the book have drug offenses listed on their hider profile sheet. The record label profile pages are typically more extensive. They contain home addresses, lists of vehicles registered to the artist, frequented locations, and associates. The book groups artists together by their record labels or crews, which are listed prominently at the top of each page.
It's so low now that they can surveil anybody they want to and justify it. And then later on say, oh, I'm sorry. What are you sorry about exactly? Taking pictures of my wife, taking pictures of my kid, taking pictures of my babysitter? What part of that are you sorry about?
Good afternoon, I'm Mary Calvi.
And I'm Rob Morrison. We begin with breaking news, an almost unbelievable story. A New York City police officer has been arrested in a failed plot to kidnap dozens of women, cook them, and then eat them.
The FBI confirming the arrest this morning.
Now, it's no secret that these law enforcement agencies were founded off of slave catching, and a lot of people have been fed the illusion that we're free. People can't see past the obvious smoke screens because they're given the perfect excuses to hate on each other instead of uplifting one another. So with that being said, I re-uploaded and edited this specific video because YouTube playing games, and I just find it so ironic everybody can get on these platforms and slander Robert Kelly, can get on here and silence Robert Kelly, but then when people get up and ask some logical questions and start to put accountability across the board, everybody wants to get to pointing the fingers at everybody else that don't make sense, bypassing all the individuals funding all this dysfunctional behavior for these private prisons. The irony of all this is all these people were convinced that Trump is the racist. Meanwhile, Kamala teams up with a guy she accused of being a racist. Never mind all the pardons that Trump did dish out, including to Rock Nation informant Desiree Perez. But hey, if you're going along with this Time's Up agenda, it may be logical as to why certain content is being shadow banned while they praise others. On the other hand, since the FBI is trumping up these RICO charges, I wonder what would happen if the general public starts to demand investigations amongst these politicians who have been given funds by people like Epstein.